everybody, it's Vikki with Mindful Minute, and I am outside today because it is beautiful this morning, and I'm reading June 5th from the Book of Awakening, the reading. Spaces in between. There's no need to seek the truth. Just put a stop to your opinions. Seng-Ts'an. That's smart. Just as life is made up of day and night, and song is made up of music and silence, friendships, because they are of this world, are also made up of times of being in touch and spaces in between. Being human, we sometimes fill these spaces with worry, or we imagine the silence as some form of punishment, or we internalize the time we are not in touch with a loved one as soon as some unexpressed change of heart. Our minds work very hard to make something out of nothing. We can perceive silence as rejection in an instant, and then build a cold castle on that tiny imagined brick. Wow. The only release from the tensions we weave around nothing is to remain a creature of the heart. By giving voice to the river of feelings as they flow through and through, we can stay clear and open. In daily terms, we call this checking in with each other. Though most of us reduce this to a grocery list, how are you today? Do you need any milk, eggs, juice, toilet paper? Though we can help each other survive with such outer kindness, we help each other thrive when checking in with each other comes from a list of inner kindness. How are you today? Do you need any affirmation, clarity, support, understanding? When we ask these deeper questions directly, we wipe the mind clean of its misperceptions. Just as we must dust our belongings from time to time, we must wipe away what covers us when we are apart. And the meditations, activities for the day are meditate on what these statements mean to you, and then speak to them to a loved one. I appreciate you and your heart. I want the channel of heart to be wide open between us. I make a promise to you that if misunderstandings or conflicts should grow between us, I will share them with you directly and not let them build or grow in any hidden way. I would count the same promise from you as a blessing. And isn't that so interesting how we can create these scenarios in our mind of why we're not connecting with someone or why we haven't heard from them, and then when we do, we keep it so surface. And I've always been extremely deep person, just how I am. I always want to get down to the real deal. And when I find myself doing that, there's usually a reason when I'm surface and when I'm just doing the grocery list of things instead of asking people how I can support them. And I think right now in our world, it's important that we show up for each other for many reasons. But we show up and we ask those questions. How can I support you today? Something I ask my friends when they're going through stuff all the time. How can I be supportive? Because I can assume that this would help or that would help, but sometimes somebody just wants to be alone, or sometimes somebody just wants to talk about nothing, or to watch The Office with you. I mean, there are so many different ways that we can support our friends, but the only way we can really support them in a way to make them thrive, like how Mark Nepo says, is to ask and communicate. And I love what he said about when there is unrest between us, that promise, if misunderstandings or conflicts should arise, I will share them with you directly and not let them grow hidden away. And I think that hiding of the truth between people because it's uncomfortable when communications get awry or when feelings get hurt, because it's uncomfortable and we're told not to, just to be nice and all this stuff. I think it's a challenge and growth, and I've found that it has helped my relationship so much more when I am able to directly communicate what's happening with me in a way that isn't rejection, filled or feel sorry for me in a victim way, and it's in a assertive way, and in a um, in a compassionate way from my heart. So I wish all of you some peace, some healing, some love, some safety. I hope that you are kind to yourself and others today, and I will be back again. Thank you so much. Namaste.